good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Mindful Live 480. I am your co-host Nathan Springer, joined by the beautiful host this evening. Say good night.
Good night.
And what's your name, host? Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. We are in the beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the 7th of the 4th, 10:27 p.m. It's a late start out here, but we're looking to just try and jump through some of these stories and get on our way. The lady landscaper tells you good night. Say good night, lady landscaper.
Good night, lady landscaper.
That's good enough, my dear. That's good enough. Hi, Ronnie. Ronnie, I hear the AIs are doing some serious work out there in Bago. The AI is doing some heavy lifting out there in Bago, Ronnie, I hear.
Dad? That is you in there.
That is me in there? Yes. Some real good AI. That is some world-class level AI. Listen, I do not think I have ever seen AI that well functioning. It seems like the PNM has the best in the business. Whoever PNM hired, they were the best in the business apparently. That's some real good AI. Can't get better than that. All right. Well, let's see if we could jump into some of these stories this evening. Ready to go? Go, Dodo. Go sleep. Bye. When you speak to sound engineers, they are all saying the audio is authentic. Aline, I don't even know if it's possible for AI to do what some are alleging AI did there. Like, I dabble in some AI. I like to play around with AI. Around with AI. Listen, I have played around with the audio AIs too. For one, if somebody is doing AI and getting the pauses and the ad-libs in there, that's somebody who is extremely good at AI. Extremely good. That's not a normal person, because the AI is going to say what you type in the voice that you input to the AI. There are AIs that could do that right now, AI programs that could take a voice, you input a minute or something of a recorded audio of a voice, and then you can type words, and the voice you input is going to say whatever words you type in that voice. That is possible. But for you to get the thank you, I took an extra curl tonight. But for you to get the pauses in the, like you see I'm speaking here and I'm like pausing and that kind of stuff. If you're typing that, then that's somebody who is typing and putting ... comma, dash to try and make sure and get those pauses inside of the audio. That's already above the level. And they made the pauses and the uhs and ums and they made all of that in perfect harmony with the people's regular speaking voice. Many of those AIs struggle to get more idiosyncratic accents, as in the Tobagonian accent. Listen, in that audio, I was able to tell the difference between a Trini South accent and a Tobagonian accent. The AI looked like it was blowing the accents out the water. AI also can't recreate your accent, brother. AI also can or can't. It can. It can technically recreate your accent, but it's not like it knows what you're doing. So what it's doing, so it very likely would have a lot of errors and it would be shaky. Yes, it is hard for it, and that's the point I'm making. Because out in Tobago there was a voice recording of a conversation. Listen, this voice recording and the other one that he alleged was AI, it's on the Tobagonian, the one Tobagonian journal. No offense meant to the Tobagonian journalist, I'm sorry, but the main Tobagonian journalist now, Elizabeth Williams. You go on her page and go back 2 days or so. I think she posted it somewhere there. It's a conversation between the opposition leader from Trinidad, not Trinidad and Tobago, because they don't represent Trinidad and Tobago. They just represent Trinidad. So it's the opposition leader from Trinidad speaking to the TPP leader in Tobago, allegedly, according to the voice note. And they're speaking about monies and support sent previously and monies and support that is requested now. A very candid, interesting conversation had by AI, allegedly. There are allegations out there by supporters that say it was all AI. I mean, as I was saying there, if this was AI real good. Pinky up for that one. Things getting interesting. But I remember saying this. What is it? Elizabeth Williams, or is it Liz Williams? If it's not Elizabeth Williams, it would be Liz Williams on Facebook there. You know, I was saying this at the jump with AI. Like, people were worried about the deep fakes. The deep fakes, you know, the fakes that are made by AI and convince people. And my take wasn't that just the deep fakes would be a problem, but it's also a problem where the original real thing is being called fake on AI. They were doing that since the old decrepit one over in the United States. Mr. Biden, President Biden, former, was out there falling, tripping, slipping all over the place, and his staff was saying they didn't say deep fakes, they said it was cheap fakes. Someone was using AI to alter his, and it was real stuff. So it doesn't only work in the way of some nefarious actor creating false media to misrepresent people. No, it also works in the way that legitimate media is used to fake people. Listen, the CPEP letter, listen. The CPEP letter kind of annoy me when I see people that's supposed to be intelligent people posting this. Let me start off at this point. I have no doubt, because I know for sure that governments present and past have squeezed on CPEP and URP and those make work government programs. Governments past and present have squeezed on them to inflate their numbers and force numbers for political support. That's a fact. It has been known for a long time in Trinidad. We know this. That's something totally different from trying to believe that CPEP would send a letter with their official CPEP letterhead on their official CPEP green bordered paper with their official CPEP boss signature. Like, who thinking this is real? So I, as the CPEP boss, want to make all the CPEP workers go and support PNM because I is a PNM. and I'm going to send this on the official company letterhead and put my signature at the bottom. Like, how do you reach the point of believing that? Somebody needs to explain this to me. When you see this, you see official CPEP letterhead and signatures at the bottom. You think that a PNMite is so blindly loyal to his party that he's going to risk losing his job and possibly even investigations and charges by signing his name on the official letterhead and document? Like, that's not how these things go. They send a message to the supervisor, who send a message to the foreman, who send a message to your contractor, and your contractor let you know word of mouth that if we don't go down to the meeting, we ain't getting the contract. That's how it goes. There's no paper trail because they don't want a paper trail. Who makes a paper trail to these things? Come on now, man. Come on now, man. Like, even if your flavor is more yellow tinted, you do your thing. Nothing wrong with that. But we got to use our faculties. We can't be fools for political parties. If you're a fool for a political party, they will always take you for a fool. They will use you as a useful fool. If you pretend to be a fool for a political party, don't be a fool for a political party. Come on, man. We can't be fools for the political parties. Like, okay, you might catch me with a little fake news here and there. I'm a news junkie, so I grab the news really before I really check it, and alright. But the news can be blatantly dotish at the same time. Come on, man, we better than that. If it is that the PNM is using AI out in Tobago there, TPP, UNC, and NTA and PF need to find themselves a link on that PNM AI specialist, because if that is AI, that man is top, or woman is top quality, the best the world has ever seen. Woo! Don't let political parties, don't become an idiot. Don't become a fool for a political party. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Those people aren't loyal to you. They aren't going to treat you with dignity and respect after you beclown yourselves for them. So don't do it. Just don't do it. Allow them to act a fool all on their own. Allow them to be clownish all on their own. And let's all be serious people out here. Big and serious people. But that's not the first story I'm starting with today. Make sure you hit that like button wherever you are viewing this. If you are viewing this on TikTok, double tap that screen. If you are looking at this on the repeat over there on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and allow the YouTube algorithm to know, hey, this is some good stuff. Send it out to some more people. If you are not yet subscribed to Nathan Springer over there on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, Nathan Springer. Or if you are looking at the video, just click the subscribe button. That's not too difficult to do. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get those numbers up. Hit the like button. If you have something to say, drop a comment. I do take in all of these comments. Interesting stuff. I read all the comments dropped over there on YouTube. So feel free to drop a comment if you also have something to say. And as per usual, this has been brought to you by Mindful Education, the educational institution that I run. If you are interested in extra classes, CXCK Primary School, we start from early childhood education all the way up to CAPE, all of those subjects in between. You want one-on-one group classes, any kind you want, in person, online, we do it all. Contact us over at Mindful Education, or contact me wherever you see me and we link that up. But speaking about education, jumping into the education foray, seems like the UNC spending their money on a lot of group people to appeal to the poor. Ooh. Maybe. But yeah, speaking about education, we will re-dive into politics, fair not. There was just this interesting story that I think I must touch on. While the PNM campaigning like a cult of the upper class, what? If you want to come on my live and do trolley stuff, I'll mute you. Do it too many times, I'll block you. All right. Yeah, this story coming out of education, the education arena. And this people, this is a key. This is a note. Homeschool your children. And if you want to find out about homeschooling, we do that over at Mindful Education also. But homeschool your children. This educational system, I think it's kind of going in a strange direction. The things that made the education system work previously in time, I think some of those realities are changing, and that is causing the education system to not exactly be what it once was. Tutor warns teachers about intervening in school fights. Although the teacher who intervened in a school fight last week between students at Moruga Secondary is being hailed on social media as a hero, Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association head Martin Lamkin is warning teachers against intervening in such incidents. This is part of the reason I hate unions too. Hate might be a strong word, but I dislike unions by and large. Many unions' jobs are to make sure that their workers don't do this. You caught me? The job of many unions is to make sure that their workers that they represent don't do this. The teachers' unions back in the COVID era were the main culprits responsible for locking schools down and keeping them locked down. Police unions regularly lobby against police getting into dangerous situations. You're in a dangerous job. All situations would be dangerous by and large. A teachers' union telling the teachers not to intervene is insane to me. Multiple videos of the fight showed at least 3 girls. Listen to the details of this fight, that a union head will look at a teacher and tell him don't intervene in it. Listen to the details of this. Multiple videos of the fight showed at least 3 girls and 1 boy kicking, slapping, punching, and throwing things at a girl on the floor. The girl is already on the floor. As a male teacher with a broom in his hand tried to intervene. One of the assailants tried to grab the broom from the teacher, but it broke. She then took the broken part and began beating the girl as she lay on the ground. The victim managed to get to her feet and run to a corner of the room where she stood facing the wall and tried to fix her skirt. As the teacher tried to fend off one of her other attackers, another picked up a dustpan with a long handle and began beating her with it until the handle broke. The girl fell to the ground, and as she got back to her feet, the teacher stood in front of her. That did nothing to slow her attackers, one of whom took off her shirt and began attacking the teacher, while another threw a bin at him. And the union's suggestion here is this teacher was supposed to watch one girl. Bear in mind, these are school-aged girls. That's a little child. That's a girl child. So I, as a big man, supposed to watch a little girl get beaten on the ground with an assortment of weapons that with one twist could end up fatal and much more tragic and traumatic for everyone involved. But I, as a big grown man, worried about my safety and my job, I am supposed to leave that girl to be beaten there. The teacher has since been praised on social media for his bravery, with many Facebook users noting the girl's fate could have been worse without his intervention. Despite this, Lumpkin suggested teachers should exercise a level of caution before getting involved in student fights. In a voice note sent to the media, he commended the teacher, but said members need to assess the entire situation before intervening, particularly if there were female students involved. Our male counterparts must be careful, as accusations of improper touching can be made against the teacher. Additionally, teachers can be accused of using excessive force in intervening. And here's what I think. Instead of a union telling the teacher that they should not intervene for fear of wrong accusations, the union should be the one fighting all the wrong accusations on the behalf of a teacher who intervenes because it's the right thing to do. You're among children. We advise members to seek the assistance of security officers, safety officers, and deans at secondary schools. I wonder, can a safety officer, security officer, or dean be accused of wrongly touching a female student too? Can a security officer, safety officer, or dean be accused of using excessive force too? And then you understand what this is about. This is a job protection, union close ranks foolishness. Your answer should never be a little girl in harm's way and we leave the room. Like, picture that for a moment. Picture that for a moment. This girl is being beaten with dustbins, chairs, broom handles, and dustpans. And he says, you'll hold on a minute. Don't kill her while I go, and I'm going to look for a security officer. You says never understood how people who experience junior sex could send their child to these schools. It's because people think there are no options. People think this is what you have to do. You put your child in the system, and where the system tell your child to go is where your child had to go. What you could do, that way he passed and he had to go to school. If he don't go to school, how he go learn? So I had to send him to the school, What? Like when the bullying incidents were being revealed last year, where the young man unfortunately ended himself. You're hearing something about a parent talking about a student that is having his lunch stolen, and they're packing extra lunches in the lunch bag for the bully when he steals the lunch so that the child still gets something to eat. What you mean? You know somebody stealing your child lunch and you sending them to school normal? No, like, people need to start to flip out for these things. People have gotten too docile about their children. In the first place, that's why knowing how my testosterone and anger and feel for my children is set up, I'd prefer, just keep my children out of that, because I don't think I'm sending an extra lunch for a bully. Damina Moran says, if you understood what schools were created for, we would understand it was never to benefit you. Well, not all schools. Schooling from the beginning of time was an educational venture. And there were always, well, not always, but there were schools for a long time before the setup of public education. What you're talking about specifically is the public education system that was stolen from those dirty Eastern European communists, where the idea was to create loyal servants for the state, and then the American industrialists set it up to create loyal workers for their factories. That was the setup. C. Alexander says, I homeschooled my daughter for a year because she was being bullied and I could not get a transfer. Listen, it's becoming more and more common. Trust me, lots of parents out there are homeschooling now. Many parents. Because you look out at that system and does it really make sense? Are they learning better out there? No. Are they at more danger? For certain, yes. And some people talk about, you're introducing your child to the real world. That's not the real world. And it's a child. Listen, I am not going to throw my child in a pit of snakes just to say, the real world dangerous, learn to fend for yourself out there, sonny, or daughter, as the case may be for me. What? No. The world is brutal enough, and they will figure that out in time as they mature. Your little child isn't supposed to be traumatized day in, day out. For many people in this world, public school was the most violence and trauma they had ever experienced. Life was the worst for them in the schooling years. There are many people like that. Speak to them. Now, for me, my schooling was great. I enjoyed my 7 years in secondary school. I enjoyed my 7 years in primary school too. It was good. Nice time, and you play sports and all of that. Yeah. But then as I get older and you talk to some people that went to school even the same time with you, it's something that I've said before if you're in the life long enough. You talk to some of your own schoolmates that experienced the same 7 years that you did, and talk to them about their experience, and you recognize for some of them, it was torture. And if you put yourself in the shoes of some of those children, you understand why. Can you imagine every day being forced? You don't have a choice. They are forcing you to go to this place. And every day there are individuals there who are going to be advantageous and violent towards you. Every day. Come on now, man. Parents need to step up for stuff like this. And to me, in a situation like this, if you want public schools to pull themselves back from the edge of the precipice, if they aren't already over the edge already, things like this: a young lady or girls in school who are unable to control themselves even when a teacher is in front of them stopping the fight, all of them need to be expelled. Kick them out. Because it's evident these children cannot be managed by the teachers of the school. If the teachers cannot manage these students, get them out. Send the girls to St. Jude's and send the boys to Milat. And if you do that seriously, every single student that shows themselves to be out of control, they are kicked out of the school system. The only children in the public school system are children that can be controlled and can be put in order. And watch how quickly that system will fix itself. Watch how quickly it will fix itself. But no, they'll suspend those girls 1 week, maybe 2, and they're back in school in the next month. And do you think girls who are willing to pelt a dustbin at a teacher, fight a teacher, pull off their shirt being recorded on camera, fighting a teacher, you think those girls are going to be controllable after 2 weeks of suspension? Domina Morin says a lot of parents use schools as a daycare and the disciplinary body once it serves their ideal. And we need to stop that. as the public schools are for learning. They're for learning for free for the children of the country. Any child showing themselves to not act in a childish way, not act like a children, well, then you exit the system. We'll find an alternate path for you, an alternative path. St. Jude's for the girls, Milat for the boys. If mommy and daddy don't want their daughter to go to St. Jude's and their son to go to Milat, you homeschool that little demon. You take the demon, because the public school can't handle them. And we should not have people raising angels and people raising demons, and we sending them in the same institute to have to sit down next to each other to learn for 8 hours. That is madness. Should never be. And as a parent, you need to keep in mind that the union in charge of teachers is telling teachers, do not intervene. Your child is on their own, surrounded by gremlins. That's the school system. Your child is on their own. Your child is on their own. This is how the school system is changing. Even when I went to school, 90s and early 2000s, teachers were more involved. Teachers saw this as a vocation, nearly like a calling. I am a teacher. You couldn't possibly get to tell teachers of the 90s era, some of them, of the 90s era and ilk, that they couldn't intervene if a student is being beaten. What do you mean? They're pulling out a tamarind whip and starting to share licks from a side. They must intervene. That is their job. How you mean you're going to tell them that they can't intervene? That would be unheard of. But that's not the same school system that exists now. Maybe we need to fracture and splinter this whole education system into much smaller schools with much closer knit communities. So maybe all the demons could send their demon children to the same demon school and enjoy their demonology, and people who don't want that could send their children to the same school too. Maybe that's what is needed. You see, the false idea that we place all the children in all the schools and they're all one big happy family, that's not true. That's not the reality of the situation. That's not the reality. You may have spent all your child's years on earth so far carefully grooming and molding and disciplining that child. All of your time is spent, you think about things and you try to make boundaries with the child and discipline them and watch them cry over things, and you're trying to raise a good child. While some people made children like snakes. Let it hatch and then leave it to fend for itself as you slither around out there. And those two have to sit next to each other. My humble opinion is, when the corporal punishment was removed from schools, things got worse. I agree. I don't think, though, that they can bring corporal punishment back. And I think that was a whole joint move in a wrong direction. The removal of corporal punishment, to me, was a symptom and not the disease itself. The removal of corporal punishment was a sign that we were starting to buy into the Americanized child psychology version of how best to raise children. And those people have children shooting up schools and cutting off their genitals. They don't know what they're talking about. We need to stop listening to those people. Gentle parenting. Don't hit the child, you'll scar them. We need to stop. Those people are not experts. Look at their results. And the removal of corporal punishment was a lean in that direction, as we were doing in general anyway. So I think I do agree the removal of corporal punishment wasn't a positive thing in our school system, but the way it is now, I don't think you could just bring it back. You know how you would be able to bring it back? Smaller schools, smaller, more intimate schools. Because if a school is 100 students and everybody knows everybody and they know the teachers, they will give I am a teacher. Many parents give you permission. If he give him trouble, don't afraid, crack him. Smaller schools will give you that because you might trust the teachers more. But like personally, if my child is in a public school, I don't think I want the teachers hitting my child because I just don't trust the teachers that way anymore. And if we have teachers that are looking to get the easiest way out, as the union suggests, what may end up happening is your child, who is pretty well behaved, every time they make a mistake, they may want to kill them with licks. But the child who is a real rebel, and if you pull out the belt, they will fight you, they getting none. So I'm not too sure in the system if you could really bring back licks like that, if it would work. Let's read a very, very strange story. I feel like I'm just going to read this story, put it on record, rest it down, and walk away. You all listen carefully. I'm just reading the story. I'm reading the story as Newsday presented it. Woman raped 5 times in 9 days by man she met on Facebook. Police have arrested a man who allegedly raped a woman 5 times over 9 days after meeting her on social media. The 19-year-old victim told police she went to the 52-year-old suspect's home. The 19-year-old victim told police she went to the 52-year-old suspect's home on March 11th after talking with him on Facebook. She said over the 9-day period, he forced her to perform acts without her consent, including but not limited to buggery. On March 28th, the victim went to the Aruka police station and told officers what had happened to her. They took her to the Princeton Hospital, where she was medically examined, and doctors reported injuries to her genitalia. Police raided the man's home on March 30th and arrested him while crime scene investigators collected evidence. He was positively identified and interviewed before being charged with serious indecency, 2 counts of rape, and 3 counts of buggery. The man is set to appear in court on April 7th. Oh, Jeron Visi. You speak of Italiano, but I know that you are the designer. Eh? How is the design going? But yeah, story boy. I don't know in a nickel. 9 days is a long time. Real interesting in it. The man isn't charged with kidnapping. He's charged with serious indecency, 2 counts of rape, 3 counts of buggery, but he isn't charged with kidnapping. So how come he isn't charged with kidnapping? It has to be he had the girl kidnapped, right? They didn't even say she escaped and went to the police station. They said on a certain day she just went there. Why would you go to a man's house that you meet on Facebook as a 19-year-old to a 52-year-old man's house? What was the intention? We listen and we don't judge. Where's that from? Where's that from? I can't remember where that is from. We listen and we don't judge. Like, I'm not judging here. You know? I am not judging here. I am just asking questions. Yeah, there are lots of questions to ask. And probably lessons to be learned too. On the 19-year-old side, as a young lady, there's hardly ever pure intent. If a 52-year-old man says to you as a young lady, come to my home, said the spider to the fly, like, yeah, what you're saying there, Domino Man, Ronnie, I kind of wonder, you know, it feels like that kind of has the, what else is it gonna be? Because this does not make sense. I could tell you that. Now let's go on to speak and listen and look at the future of Trinidad and Tobago's politics. Pandey challenges UNCPNM. Who is funding you? Patriotic Front political leader Michaela Pandey has challenged the PNM and UNC to publicly declare who is financing them. Pandey issued this challenge at a news conference in Couva on April 6th. She rejected UNC claims that PF is being funded by the PNM. Pandey declared, that is nothing more than a desperate attempt to discourage you from voting for real change. It is a distraction, plain and simple. She claimed the UNC was attempting to shift attention away from its own failures and the growing momentum of the PF. Pandey demanded to know who is funding the UNC and who is funding the PNM. We are willing to open all of our accounts to public scrutiny. The PF candidates who were with Pandey cheered when she declared, we are going to clean up government once and for all. Pandey said the population was tired of a back and forth corruption blame game between two political parties. One party points fingers and the other one says, well, you thief too. She said, we are not here to thief. We are here to serve. Pandey added, we have to put an end to who thief more politics. She said this April 28th general election was about ushering in a new era of transparency and trust. This election is not about red or yellow. It is not about tribe. It is about one thing. Who is ready to fix this country? She said the Patriotic Front would not follow the example of others and promised things they privately knew they could not deliver if elected to office. Pandey added the Patriotic Front did not know what it would find should it become the next government. She claimed neither the PNM nor the UNC was interested in accountability or transparency. Pandey urged the population not to fall for scare tactics employed by either party. Pandey rejected the UNC claims the PF would split votes and hand the election to the PNM. Let me make it crystal clear. Nobody owns your vote. This is why every single vote is extremely precious. PNM seats may be safe from the UNC, UNC seats may be safe from the PNM, but none of them are safe from us, she said. Hey, what you all think? What you all think? The next Prime Minister right there? Prime Minister, fake gang war video circulated, so it seems like other people have the AI too. Prime Minister Stuart Young repeated his warning to the population about the opposition UNC's alleged use of artificial intelligence in a desperate attempt to persuade people to vote for them in the April 28th general election. There was some video out from Tunapuna, I think they were saying that it was a gang war going on in Tunapuna. But if you listen for more than 10 seconds, you're like, no way is somebody just holding down an automatic rifle, getting on like that in the middle of the place. True, Dominum, true. And well, Ronnie, she's going up for my my constituency, so I could choose her this time. I don't have to wait till the next cycle. We will see what she could do in Couva North. So yeah, fakes are out there. Farley tells Sandals, bring your own US dollars. Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Farley Augustine, has made a bold statement regarding the proposed investment by Sandals Resorts. Ahead of a crucial meeting with Sandals owner Adam Stewart, Augustine articulated that if the luxury hotel chain is genuinely interested in reinvesting in Tobago, it must bring its own capital. Farley Augustine's remarks come at a time when Tobago is eager to enhance its tourism offerings, but is cautious about how this is achieved. The island has previously experienced challenges with foreign investments, which have sometimes failed to benefit the local community. Augustine's insistence on Sandals bringing its own money reflects a desire for a more equitable and respectful investment relationship. Come with your own US dollars, invest here, and do it on terms that respect the local economy and community, he stated. Like, I'm looking at this even with Orange Man up in the West there. How some people speak about this, they seem not to understand how negotiation works. The people with more cards in the negotiation is allowed more room to make demands. Do you think Sandals needs to go to Tobago? Like, I mean, even if you want them to bring their own US dollars, the positioning and grandstanding, it's like when you put, this is why you're not supposed to put neophytes, amateurs, and little boys in positions of power. It goes to their head, and they feel like, look, watch how I could talk to a billionaire CEO, eh? Hey, bring your own money, boy. Like, sir, that's not your job. Good night, Lyndon. That's not how this goes. What are you doing? And it's kind of interesting. Various things, but right now we're talking about Sandals in Tobago, and the Tobago leader, Chief Secretary, telling Sandals they have to bring their own money. How these things generally go. So Hyatt and Hilton is owned by Trinidad and Tobago. We pay them a fee to use their licensing. I am not sure if they have any impact even on the management. So when we make the profit, we make the profits. If they come with their own money and they do the infrastructural investments out of their pockets, where would the chunk of all the profits go? Sandals does not allow for that. Says who? There is one Sandals arrangement like that currently. So it's about negotiation. It's about negotiation. And if you're saying Sandals does not allow that, then what is Mr. Augustine talking about? If it is that every time Sandals does something, they build it themselves. So, I don't know. It's about the negotiation. Good night, Dinesh. So, if you have a choice, where we could negotiate that we build through our financing, it's not straight tax financing, some loan or something, and then as the property investment comes back, we pay back that loan and pay Sandals a small fee, versus Sandals comes in with their full repertoire and they put down a footprint and they move away with the lion's share of the profits. Which one would you prefer? But the thing is, if we do the infrastructural investment out of investment from us, we take the risk. If it fails, that's on us. But we also get the reward. If it succeeds, that's on us. Which way would you prefer? What's my view, Lyndon Mac? I am not 100% certain, to be very honest. I don't know. I don't know which one would be better. I am not sure. I am tempted to say that obviously we should make the capital investment and obviously we should own the lion's share of the infrastructure and then we get the lion's share of the profits. But are we good enough to manage it? Are we good enough to manage it ideally? Might we get a management contract from them and they manage it and we get profit? I don't know. Again, it's according to the negotiation. I wasn't really taking guests, because I start so late. If I take guests, I feel we're going to end up here after midnight, and I can't be here after midnight. So, Lyndon, you can't really tell me right now. My apologies. My apologies. We like a good talk, but the time. I don't doubt that you may have very good perspective on that. But for me, like the problem I have with what Mr. Augustine is saying is that I'm not too sure he knows either, which would surely be the best. So why would you go into the negotiation with a abrasive front? Why would you go into the negotiation demanding they bring their US dollars? Why? Next thing in the negotiation, you find out that it's actually much more profitable for us to make the investment. When I'm having these huge topics, I can't just talk like that. Yeah, you're right, Lyndon. You're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing. We should have room to talk when we talk in these huge topics. So I will re-raise this tomorrow when we have some more time, and we will talk. You're right. He probably said it kindly and the reporter's making it sound like he demanded it. No, he didn't say it kindly. You said that they need to bring their own US dollars. So, if you're going into a negotiation, to me, the comment you make to the media is, well, we'll see after the negotiation. We'll see after the negotiation how it goes. I mean, unless you're Trump and you have the world's strongest military and strongest economy in your back pocket as your Trump cards. So, I mean, you could guff your chest and ring on people when you go into a meeting because you actually have the cards to play. I don't think that's our kind of position. I think we need to go in with a nice blank slate, as was said, for us to start this negotiation. But I don't think statements like that give it a blank slate. I would hope so, Dominum. I would hope so. All right, people, that's all I have for now. It's a short live tonight because we started late too. My apologies. Yes, I know we started out of time. I know. Don't drag me through the mud and all of that. Thank you for tuning in nonetheless. I am Nathan Springer. This has been the Mindful Live Show. I'll be here again tomorrow night for the next Mindful Live. As per usual, this was brought to you by Mindful Education. I wouldn't get it. Well, you'd explain it to me tomorrow, sir. Please do. Yeah, and this was brought to you by Mindful Education. Please be sure to follow us. We are on Instagram. Give us a follow and message if you are interested. Until tomorrow, people, hold it down. Stay good. Stay inside. Outside sketchy is election season. Vote for Patriotic Front. Bring back the era of the pandas.